Hello, everybody. It's Mike Weller from the Weller Group at Keller Williams Realty. We are here with our weekly Orange County sales report. We've been tracking the pending sales, the new sales, all year here in 2020. So we started it back in early spring during COVID to see how COVID was affecting the market on a week-by-week basis, and it's been a very popular item for people to receive every week, so we've been continuing it here all year. So today it's Thursday, so it's time to look back at last week. We're looking back at last Sunday through Saturday, so we're looking at the 8th through the 14th. We've been waiting until Thursday because we find that some of the sales do get entered a few days late. So when we were a few months back, when we were doing this earlier in the week, we were missing a few things that were getting entered in late. So I think we're getting more accurate numbers now on a week-by-week basis. So last week here in Orange County, we had 668 sales. So a couple of months back over the summer into the fall, we were running around and above 800 sales every week. It started to tail off a little bit. We dipped below 800 in October. And then here over the last few weeks, last week of October, first week of November, we were pretty neck and neck, 686 and 683, with not last week that we're looking at now, but the previous week, the first week of November, also being the election week. So we're looking now at last week, which is the first week post-election, and numbers are down a little bit more to 668 from 683. So we are seeing a trending decline here, and the numbers over really the past, going back to the beginning of October now. We're still way ahead of where we normally would be for this time of year, and I don't mean on a cumulative level for the year, that too, but I mean even on a week-by-week basis. We normally wouldn't be north of 650 sales here as we get into November. If we go back to last year, we had 540 sales the same week, so we're up 24% there. 2018, 458 sales, so we're up 46% over 2018. We're up 23% from 2017. And then going back to 2016, we had 560 sales, so we're up 20% over that. The interesting thing about looking at 2016, that was the last presidential election year, and we actually had a bump in the numbers the week after the election. Week after the election, we went from 533 to 560. We bumped up. This year, we're trending down a tiny bit. I'm not saying that's because of the election or the election results by any means, but I will say 2016, things were a little bit more of a normal election type year as far as real estate. And by that, what I mean is things people kind of put things on hold as we got into the fall during the campaign, waiting for the election to see what would happen. And then after the election, there was kind of a little bit of a release of activity, so to speak. So this year, we didn't really see much of a slowdown because of the election. I really don't think the election, as much as it was in the news, it was not in the news nearly as much for as long of a time this year as it is in a normal, typical presidential election year. With the conventions being online and virtual, it just didn't have the same impact until we really got into October. And then it got on people's radar screens, I think, a little bit more with all the early voting. So again, we're still, you look back 19, 18, 17, 16, our numbers here for the second week of November are way ahead of all of those. But the trend is interesting. And as we get closer into the winter and deeper into the winter, I think we will continue to trend down. Hopefully we'll see a little bit more inventory, and there's going to be a little bit more opportunity for buyers to take advantage of these great interest rates. But that's what's going on. That's what last week looks like. Next week, we'll check in to see what this week looks like. And 2 weeks from now, we'll check in to see what next week looks like. So that's kind of how it goes. Anyway, have a happy Thanksgiving, everybody. By the way, last week we did the Alzheimer's Orange County Walk for ALZ. Great event, great cause. It was a little different this year. It was virtual. Including a sponsorship link here in the email or social media post that you're seeing this in. Would love it if you would just put in a few dollars to sponsor this great cause. Alzheimer's Orange County, they do great work, and we'd love to raise money for them. So anyway, stay safe, stay healthy, happy Thanksgiving. We will see you next week. Take care, everybody.